Welcome back to our channel. Today I'll be sharing tips on how to create soft matte skin and a smoky eye using gold and emerald green eyeshadow colors. This look is wearable for any occasion. It's a soft glamour look. If you're interested in learning tips on how to recreate this look, stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to jump right into it. I'm starting with her eyebrows. Off camera, I did apply her skincare and prepped her skin. I'm a stickler for skincare. You guys will hear me talk about this in more videos to come. And my client has normal skin, so I just used a moisturizer, a face oil, eye cream, and a lip balm. So I'm using hair-like strokes to fill in her eyebrows. I'm using Benefit Brow Pencil. The color is 3.5. What I like to do is use those hair-like strokes and fill in the sparse area. So here is a pro tip. Just want to take a step back and look at the brows while you're filling them in, just to make sure that the brows are symmetrical. I'm using Born This Way concealer and one shade lighter than her skin and filling in underneath her brow just to highlight. I'm using one of my favorite primers for the eye, which is MAC Paint Pot, and the color is Laying Low. And I'm just taking that, a little goes a long way, taking that across the eye. I'm starting with the Vistiart palette. This is the Warm Matte 10 palette. Unfortunately, they don't have the name of the colors on the back, so I'm not exactly for sure, but I'm just using a warm brown shade. That's one shade, maybe 1 to 2 shades deeper than her skin. So I'm taking that color right into the crease, and I like to wing it out slightly just to elongate the eye. So I'm going on with a deeper color just to intensify that color, and what I'm doing is just creating a backdrop for the other colors that I'm going to lay on top. So I'm using a fluffy brush just to blend those shadows together. I'm switching the brush and the palette. Now I'm using Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, and I'm using the color Jubilee, which is like a dark teal color, and I'm taking that right on the outer corners of her eye. I'm using a flat brush so I can build up the pigment to the color, even though it's very pigmented. I love Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. However, I'm just taking a flatter brush just so I can get more pigment and build up that coverage. So I'm taking it and stamping it, and while you're stamping it, that will give you less fallout. I'm using that same neutral brown shade that I used as the first color that I used on her eye, and I'm just blending that color into the seams and the edges, and I'm going back and forth by building the color up, and then I'll go back to that brown shade, and I'm going back and forth until I get the color payoff that I'm looking for. To the Natasha Denona palette, I'm using the color Mace, and I'm applying that right on the lid. So I'm taking a small packing brush and I'm just packing that right in that blank area that was left. So this is considered just a smoky eye, and it's a smoky eye with a green teal color on the outer parts. Now I'm taking that same color that I used in her crease the very first time, and I'm taking that directly underneath her eyes, and I will be using that same green color underneath her eye as well. I'm using a smaller brush. You can use the same flat brush that I used to pack on that shadow, but this is called a pencil brush, and all the brushes that I'm using are by Crown. We sell this brush set at this school, and it's just a really good beginner brush set. Off camera, I did apply black eyeliner in the waterline, and now I'm using a pigment by MAC Cosmetics, and the color is Tan, and this is just to help intensify that color that I placed right on the lid color. So it helps to brighten it up and give the eye a little bit more dimension. Now we're starting with foundation. I'm using NARS. A little goes a long way with this foundation. My client has really great skin. The only thing I needed to do was just even out the complexion, and I could have used a even more lightweight foundation on her, but I'm looking for more of a glamorous finish, more of a flawless finish, so I used the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. So I'm just taking my time, making sure I'm not forgetting underneath the eye area, the nose crevices, the forehead. I'm really just working that foundation all over her skin. I like to start in the center of the face and work my way out to the outer parts of the face. When contouring a oblong face shape, you really want to focus on contouring the forehead area, the cheek area, and the chin. That's mainly where you want to apply that contour color, and you're going to highlight right underneath that eye area, and I'll do that next. You want to make sure that the contour is not so strong because you don't want harsh contours. You're really just softening out the face when you have someone with a oblong face shape. Now I'm going on with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and I'm using the color number 3. And I'm just going right over the cream contour that I applied, which was the Born This Way concealer and the color Mocha. I'm using the same concealer in a flat brush. I'm starting from the brow down the side of the nose bridge, and I'm going to do that on both sides, and then we'll move into highlighting. To highlight, you want to use a color that is 2 shades lighter than the skin. I created my own color. I used the Born This Way concealer. I used Mocha and Natural Beige, and I came up with the color that is 2 shades lighter. Now I said we want to focus on highlighting directly underneath that eye area. I am going to take it on the side of the eyes just to create some shape and dimension and elongate the eyes. And also it helps clean up some of the shadow too. Let's say if the shadow is not even on the side, it helps lift the eyes and brighten the eyes in that area too. You want to make sure that you don't forget to highlight the nose bridge. I'm using Laura Mercier translucent powder in honey. I love this color because it's like a neutral yellow tone, so it works really good for my client's skin tone. I'm using it with a beauty blender. I'm not letting it sit too long on the skin. I like to bake, but I don't like to bake for too long. So I apply it with my beauty blender. I let it set and absorb some of that wet concealer, and then I wipe it off with the blending brush. I'm going on with the lip. I'm using Morphe. The color is Trendsetter. I'm using KKW lipstick in the color Nude 2.5. It's a peachy nude tone, and it works really good and pairs very good with my model skin and the eye makeup look that we have going on. And I'm just using a lip brush just to blend it on top of the lip liner as well as in the center of the lips. I like to blend it on top of the lip liner so everything blends seamlessly. I'm using Fenty Glow lip gloss, and it's one of my favorite lip glosses. I pretty much apply it on everyone, just depending on the lip color that I'm using, but it's a really pretty rosy nude with a little bit of shimmer to it. Just look how gorgeous that color is. To enhance the contour, I'm taking the same Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I am applying that directly underneath the contour, and I'm also applying it on the nose bridge. I like to let that hang out while I do my finishing touches to her face, and then I just take a blending brush, a fluffy brush, and blend it away. If you have made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a great deal of information. I wanted to create these videos to share my tips and tricks that I have learned throughout my makeup journey. This is the finished look. Please comment below and subscribe if you would like to hear more of our tips and tricks. Thank you.